Welcome back to Run the Layers. I'm your host, Creative Bobby, and on this episode, we're going to be talking about textbooks. I currently serve as the publications manager at Kappa Kappa Psi and Tau Beta Sigma National Headquarters. That means that I'm going to be doing everything from logo designs to website designs, flyers, forms, trade show displays, magazines, any kind of visual or graphics. It usually has to come through my desk, and I have something to do with it. So I'm really in charge of kind of managing the brands of both organizations, as well as managing the publications that both organizations send out. And last year, I was a part of something very historic when it came to the fraternity. I was tasked with designing the textbooks for the new Kappa Kappa Psi National Membership Education Program, The Road to Wisdom. Road to Wisdom is a comprehensive education plan that provides lesson plans and activities that was adopted at the 2017 National Convention of Kappa Kappa Psi in Orlando, Florida, by an overwhelming majority of brothers. The work behind this plan began years before its completion. My work with the Kappa Kappa Psi Curriculum Committee began with me designing the logo for the program. Now, knowing the logo will be the centerpiece of the entire brand for the program, I wanted something that'd be immediately recognizable. So the star is frequently used as a shape throughout the imagery of Kappa Kappa Psi. I made the star the main shape and then cut out within it the shape of a road. The road is drawn at an angle and a curve, moving upward, forward, and onward. The lines that mark the road, mark the center of a two-way road. The two-way road represents the giving and receiving of education, as well as the two-way communication between teacher and student. The logo was used to promote the program as well as the curriculum committee itself. But actually doing the two textbooks, one for the Vice President of Membership, the Teaching Guide, and the Membership Candidate Guidebook, doing those two textbooks will be a much larger and more in-depth design endeavor. The Outstanding Curriculum Committee spent a lot of time crafting these lesson plans and crafting these documents and crafting these appendices and all of the things that went into the Road to Wisdom. They spent a lot of time crafting all this. And then once they had all of that organized and ready to go, they presented it to me to design visually, to kind of help translate their hard work into something, that was of maximum presentability to the brotherhood. And this is a monumental document. This is a monumental shift in the fraternity, and I was just blessed to be a part of it. Now, with a massive project like this, with a lot going into it, and like I said, it being basically two textbooks, a teaching manual and a guidebook that I'm designing, the only program I could do this in is InDesign. InDesign is the program that I use to do the Podium publication, which is the official publication of Kappa Kappa Psi and Tau Beta Sigma. I do that twice a year, and that's a 44 to 48 page magazine usually, and both of these textbooks will be longer than that. So just to manage all of that text and all of that content and make sure that I'm building something that's not only visually appealing but consistent, I had to go with Adobe InDesign. That's my go-to when I'm trying to craft a publication of any type of quality. First, the covers of the two textbooks had to properly represent the fraternity and the program. I put the Road to Wisdom logo large, right front and center on the cover with the official Greek letter logo of the fraternity at the bottom. The title of each book was placed in between, and in the background I had a collage of various photos related to Kappa Kappa Psi, including historical landmarks and symbols. Inside the book, I had to use the power of Adobe InDesign to set up certain things that I knew each book would need to have visually consistent throughout. Font choices and title styles were saved in the paragraph style section. Section titles, excerpt text, membership candidate responses, guiding questions for discussion, and other elements would be in every lesson. So I had to make that consistent throughout. Also, speaking of consistency, InDesign allows you to create master pages that create a template for the rest of the pages in the document as assigned. So if I create a master page, I can pick which pages I want to follow that template. So that's what I used here. The majority of the books use the template I created with the full text logo of Kappa Kappa Psi on the left, the the Road to Wisdom star in the center, and Road to Wisdom with the page number on the right. Each lesson in the Road to Wisdom is color-coded. These colors are not only featured in the corresponding section, but in the table of contents. The table of contents is also the first hint that I will be using the road from the main logo as a motif throughout the books. The road is featured on each of the lesson covers. Each lesson has its color and a summary of the information that they'll be teaching or learning, depending on the book. The Vice President of Membership has additional elements such as required and recommended attendees. The differences between the two books stem from the different perspectives, teacher and student. The committee and I met at length about how to best represent this information that was being provided, how to include certain reference images, while people are learning, while people are teaching, how the corresponding guidebook and the teaching manual would work hand in hand with one another, making sure that the consistency is there throughout the book. We talked a lot about just the best way to get this done, and having those tangible items like in hand and seeing it getting voted on and passed was an incredibly important moment for the fraternity and for the committee, and also for myself, because it's another massive project that I have been blessed with the opportunity to work on. So it's just really cool gig that I have here, and especially with the Road to Wisdom, because the Road to Wisdom is to ensure that every future brother, regardless of initiating chapter, has the same national standard of education and training. So it's absolutely crucial, that this is presented in the best and absolute most efficient way possible. These books are the foundation of building a positive, lifelong brotherhood experience, and I am blessed to have a role in their design. Well, that's it for this episode of Run the Layers. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section down below how important you think the design of learning tools and learning materials are to the actual learning itself. Remember, as you go along in life, teach as you learn and inspire as you do. See you next time.